Hi folks, hope you're doing well. It's 12:45 and now counting as the 9th of July 2020. As I was walking around the park with the doggies, I realised that, weird thing is, you can be, and you can really be who you want to be. Whoever you want to be, really, in life. The possibilities are there to, if you want to be the world's strongest man, you can do that. If you want to put the effort in, if you want to be the best actor in the world, you can do that. If you want to put in the effort and the study and the hard work and the practice and the kissing the butts that you're going to kiss. The promoting of all the movies and, whatever else you have to do. If you're willing to do all of that, then absolutely you can end up being the best actor, actress in the world. You just have to be willing to put whatever the workload is in. The problem is, in all those things, none of those things actually matter. So what is there that's worth being that you can be? That's the big question, really. Well, I say that's something you realise as you get older. Is it worth, even as a young person, aiming to be the strongest man in the world? The answer, honestly, is no. Generally speaking, it isn't. It's not worth it. Because somebody at some point is going to be stronger than you. Someone at some point is going to break your records. That's the way it works. It's always going to work that way. Someone at some point, until the last strongest man in the world before the world ends, someone is going to do better than you. It's a reality. It's the way that people improve because you're the level that they need to surpass. And they work hard to not just get to your level, but surpass it. That's the reason why Jeff Capes is no longer the record holder at those events. Is because he was, and yet people said, right, we're going to do better than that. We're going to try and get beyond his level. He is a level now. We need to create a new level. So, is it worth it? Is it worth putting yourself in that position where you potentially could kill yourself? Where you're going to have injury after injury after injury, where you have to travel all around the world to do these events. A lot of times you're going to fail because of injury. You have to come home empty-handed with really very little prize money involved. And you come home dejected completely because you needed the money. You didn't get the money. Instead, you come home with an injury. It's maybe the 5th time you've done that, and you've got to get past that. You're going to know, yeah, that's the situation, but my goal is far bigger. I've got to put up with this. You've got to have a good team around you to do that. And in the end, you do all that, you become the world's strongest man, and then next year somebody else beats you. Now you're retired, now you're seeing other people younger, bigger, stronger, erasing everything you did. What was it all for? That's the reality with that sort of stuff. What was it all for? So what is worth desiring that will last? What about becoming the next Paul? or Saul. Next Peter, next John, next Luke. Is that worth it? Of course, the effort's going to be different. Still achievable. But then again, is it? Because this is the thing, the way God works. It's not about what you want that matters. It's about what God wants for you. Who have you been designed to be? Who has God made you to be? And that's the thing. As soon as you realize who God has made you to be, you can aim to be the best of that. To put the effort in to be the best of that. That is worth something. But you first of all need to understand who God has called you to be. In what area? So, for example, if you are called into the ministry of healing, then you look at somebody who's been in the ministry of healing and you say, that's a level. Yeah, with Smith Wigglesworth, that's a level. Okay. So I want to have a ministry that is far greater than his. So, how did he get what he got to? How did he get that? So if you can understand how he got that, you may come to some understanding of how you can get anywhere near his level. So to get above his level, you've got to first of all get near his level. But you've got to understand how he got there to get near that level. If you want to be an evangelist, then you look at Rana Bonke and you say, yeah, how can I get near his level? Well, how did he get there? What was it about him that enabled him to get that far? And then maybe you can do that. Maybe you can say, well, actually, I can be on that. I can do that. Yeah, no, Wigglesworth. If you want to, I don't know much about Bunky, so I can't really tell you a lot about Bunky. Okay, that's just being honest. I don't. I mention him because he is really the one who is known as the greatest of the evangelists in recent times, and I know that. Yeah, if you want to be that, learn about him. Yeah. There's no reason why you can't be at that level or greater. But Wigglesworth, you want to learn from Wigglesworth. You've got to understand, as I've said in other videos, with him, he got really where he got to because of the fact of the position he put God in his life. And you can do that. It's going to be harder for you to do it now than it was for him to do it then. Because with him, he didn't have really anything else in his life. He made sure the world was kept out. So, newspapers, stuff like that, he didn't have in. And the problem is, he didn't have TV, really, in his day. Radio, he did. But really, that was the beginning of radio. Internet, no internet. There was no TV. There was no movies, really. In his day, all of that was new. You'd have to go to the cinema to see movies and stuff like that. There was no internet and no Twitter, no Instagram, all that rubbish. So you would have to get rid of all this stuff completely. You would have to have in your house none of that and allow none of it in. You would have to just have God. The word of God, prayer, worship, etc., etc., etc. And focus on building your relationship with God. Focus on building your understanding of God. Focus on building your knowledge of God's will and God's ways. then there's no reason why you couldn't have as great a relationship as Wigglesworth, and as great a ministry as him. And that's the thing. You can have an incredible ministry. You can have the best ministry the world has ever seen. But you are going to have to sacrifice. But if you're going after the best ministry because you want to have the best ministry, because of boasting rights, then you'll never get it. If you want to have the best ministry, the purity of wanting to serve God in the best way you can, and wanting to bless people in the best way you can, then you may very well get it. But you're still going to have to put the effort in. You're still going to have to sacrifice. You're still going to have to put those hours in. But it's not going to be a case of religiously doing stuff or being super spiritual, any of that stuff. None of that is going to matter. It'll all be a case of God says do, you decide to do or not to do. That's the reality. And the more you decide to do what God is telling you to do, the more there is a possibility that you will have an incredible ministry and an incredible relationship with God. You take care, God bless, and sleep well, and have a wonderful week. I will speak to you soon. God bless, folks. Bye-bye. Let's end this one now, and it'll be time to feed the doggies and go to bed. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.